So under E we have nature's medicines. That is, earlier also I said this apostrophe S we can take here, it is medicines, medicine or medicine whatsoever, same thing, because nature is the biggest medicine for us. We can have, naturally we have the medicine within our body. That is, it can prevent all the entries of any kind of external things. Means if it is not suitable to your body, not only bacteria, I am not talking about only bacteria. If at all something is not suitable to your body, it will reject. That is called immune system within your body. And one thing, by playing sports and games, you are just strengthening the immune system in your body. And also you are having a sleep, disciplined sleep. Then also you are strengthening your immune system. Now, after having done everything, every care you have taken, every preventive method you have taken, even then certain times something may occur. Then the nature is the best medicine again. Why I say nature is the best medicine means it has many fauna and flora. Many. And these are not maintained over there or kept over there or created over there for no reason. No, it has a reason. If a vulture is there, what is the use of vulture? No, it is a natural scavenger. Frog is there. What is the use of frog? It is also a natural scavenger. It eats all the insects. And even your lizard, that also does the same thing. So let us not think the creation is useless. No, every creation is useful. And in that, the fauna and flora, they are very useful. Tulasi, if you take tulasi, if you take neem, I need not tell you what are the uses. And we eat fruit, and we eat raw vegetables. What is the effect of that? When you cook certain vegetables, the vitamins go away. And all the things which they contain, which are very helpful for your digestion and your maintaining the health, they go away. And so they recommend only to take the raw vegetables, raw fruit and everything. Fine polished rice you want. Means what? The rice doesn't have anything excepting carbohydrates. Everything has been removed. It is not like that. Earlier they used to simply kutna, that one they used to take it, and with the red rice, only the outer coat has been removed, that they used to eat. Means with all the contents, healthy contents of the rice. Then there were no cases of diabetic earlier. Now very recently it is in increasing number, because of these all the reasons which have been shown earlier. You won't play, you will sit, and you don't take sleep, and all these things are the causes for the diabetic. Plus not eating healthy food, that is also one of the things. You never bother for the Ayurveda. That is what nature's medicine. Here apostrophe, it talks about belonging, or you can say nature is medicine. Nature itself is medicines, right? Then let us see what the writer wants to say about this. The plant world is an immense store of active chemical compounds. Nearly half the medicines we use today are herbal in origin, and a quarter contains plant extracts or active chemicals taken directly from plants. Many more are yet to be discovered. As I already told you, the plants, they have been created for what? For us to use in a very healthy manner. So all the medicines which we are using now, most of them, they are prepared from the extracts of the plants. either directly or indirectly whatsoever. So, many more are yet to be discovered, recorded and researched. Few only we know, while there are thousands and thousands of medicines. Thousands and thousands of medicinal plants are there. Even then we know very few things. Many more are yet to be discovered, recorded and researched. Only a few thousand have been studied. Across the globe, the hunt will always be on to find species that could form the basis of new medicines. Humans have always used plants to ease their pains. They imbued them with magical powers and then gradually learned to identify their properties. We can now enjoy the benefits of herbal medicines because over thousands of years our ancestors discovered which plants were medicinally beneficial and which were highly toxic. When there are plants which are medicinally useful, there are also plants which are toxic. And hence, we use very few fruit to eat, very few species. Not all, there are many n number. You must not have seen, or I must not have seen. Those n number of fruit are there, and certain leaves you can eat. They taste well, they don't harm you. Right? If certain leaves, if you touch, you feel itching, and that itching will never go. Means toxic plants are also there, useful plants are also there. And whatever we know, they are maybe a fraction of the one. Fraction of the one, we can say. What is that fraction? We cannot say in comparison to the number of plants which are available, which are to be found out, which are to be researched, which are to be noted down. We don't know. They are there still, but we don't know how to use them. And our ancestors, they used it, and they said these leaves, these plants, these roots, these stems, they are filled with the medicinal properties. Only that only we are following now. Right? So, thousands of years ago, in the ancient Egyptians discovered simple ways to extract and use the active ingredients within plants. Egyptian papyrus manuscripts from 2000 BC record the use of the perfumes and fine oils and aromatic oils and gums in the embalming process. Egyptians, when we say the name of Egypt, we simply remember the pyramids. Right? The pyramid civilization is Egypt civilization. What is that one? What is a pyramid? They said that is the house for the dead bodies, mummified. They kept them under that and kept them with what? With the oils, aromatic oils, scents, etc. How could they know it? They studied a variety of plants from where they can extract them. And they mummified them. Means for years the dead body will not be spoiling. So they know how to preserve a dead body with the extract taken from the plants. When? About 2000 BC, means what? Already we have crossed 2000 AD. Right? Again 2000 means 4000 years ago, people knew how to preserve things using extract of the plants. Right? So, in ancient Greece, and here is a word embalming, EMBALMING, embalming. It is a process through which the dead bodies can be kept intact. Right? And in ancient Greece, in the 5th and 4th century BC, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, was already recommending asparagus and garlic for their diuretic qualities, poppy as a way of inducing sleep, and willow leaves to relieve pain and fever. In the 1st century AD, another Greek doctor, Dioscorides, established the first collection of medicinal plants. His treatise on the subject was translated into Arabic and Persian. Centuries later, his work was also used by the Muslim scholars who influenced great universities of the period, particularly at Montpellier, Europe's most famous center for the study of botany. Now, in the Egypt, when it was in the 5th century or 4th century BC, that means again to 4,500 or 5,000 years ago, there was the father of medicine, means a doctor we can say. His name is Hippocrates. What did he do is recommended asparagus. Asparagus, it is a very tender shoot of a plant which is used as what we call as a vegetable, and he recommended it. It is very digestive and very healthy and very strong. That way he recommended it. Not only this, garlic also. For what? Diurinating. That means that many times what happens is you may not feel like going to urinate. You may not be having a feeling also. By that what happens, there will be your stones, kidney stones will be forming. And that kidney stones has to be diluted. It has to be removed. And it is a very painful thing if it is there in the tract. Then he had recommended garlic and this asparagus. You eat this, then automatically you can urinate. There will be no obstacle inside and there will be no pain. There will be no kidney stones. See to it. Right? When about 5,000 years ago. And now again, he had recommended poppy. Poppy means what? Opium. Opium, and that is made of some black seeds of some flower, and it will be fruited, and from that seeds will be taken. From that a paste is made, that is called opium. If anybody is struggling with sleeplessness, very small doses of that opium used to be given. And once or twice if it is given, he will be habituated to take sleep and he will be healthy again. So that is called here is a poppy, that is your opium. And next, inducing sleep and willow leaves. Willow leaves for what? It is for the relief of the pain. If any pain is there, whether it is your joint pain or bone pain or muscle pain, whatsoever pain is there, he used to recommend willow leaves, right? And again, if at all you are feeling feverish, for that also willow leaves have been recommended. In the 1st century AD, another Greek doctor, Dioscorides, established the first collection of medicinal plants. What is done? These are the medicinal plants. We have to eat this for this, this for this, this for this. Likewise, he has prescribed it. His treatise means the theory which has been written is called as treatise. Theory means everybody has to keep a book, because I got the knowledge and that knowledge should not die with me, and so I will publish something. That is called treatise. So his treatise on this subject was translated into many languages, even Arabic and Persian. Arabic and Persian are that old languages, right? And our Sanskrit. These three we can say are the sisters. So centuries later, his work was also used by the Muslim scholars who influenced great universities of the period, particularly at Montpellier, Europe's most famous center for the study of botany. They have taken these notes and these plants and they influenced the universities. Yes, these are the plants used for medicine. How? Because his books were translated into Arabic and Persian languages. As a result of trade with Africa and Asia, the Western world's store of herbal medicines was enriched by the inclusion of camphor, cinnamon, ginger, ginseng, nutmeg, sandalwood, turmeric, and henna. You see, we know all these things. We use, but now, oh, that one, I can't. Black pepper, काली मिरी बोलते हैं. ये काली मिरी is a medicine. We can't. Long, dalchin, ilaichi, what are all these things? We know, we are very, what we can say, very inclined to have the aromas of that only. Sense, essence. We use the essence only. Dalchin and all these things. Actually, dalchin, the bark of a tree, if you take one piece daily, your throat and diseases connecting to the throat can be cleared. You can have a very sweet voice for that. These are all the medicines for that. Here is the list you can see. Camphor, the kapoor, Aarti kapoor hai na, camphor. And that kapoor we take the, what we call the, we take the smell. And again here, cinnamon, dalchin, ginger, adrak, ginseng, right? And nutmeg, sandalwood. These are all the things we know. Turmeric, turmeric is your haldi. And henna, henna, it is henna only. So, for a long time, however, the use of both local plants and those with more distant origins was based on more or less fanciful beliefs. These are all. Henna, whatever the body heat is there, it regulates. And so wherever you put henna, it becomes red. Because it regulates the heat in your body, it gets red here. That way it is extracting the heat of your body and it throws it out. Henna. So these are all the, for a long time, however, the use of both local plants and those with more distant origins, locally we can have all these things. And maybe certain plants have come from other countries to our India. But even then, these are all put into medicinal use since long. We have very fanciful beliefs over that. Throughout the Middle Ages, herbal medicines consisted of a mixture of magic, superstition, and empirical observation. People, because till today even not people of those days, some miracle should occur, then only he can be saved. Doctor does everything. Then lastly he uses a word, he is under coma. Unless some miracle occurs, we cannot say anything. And this has become a very patent dialogue in pictures and in TV serials. And also in our last lesson we have seen with the computer, wizard, that lesson, some miracles should. And those miracles were completely put with these medicines. Means as if they are chanting some mantras and all these things, or taking the neem leaves and touching head to toe and putting it 2 to 3 times. You must have seen that one, no? OMG. In that one, the Akshay Kumar, he touches his head first and then the nose, then the stomach, and he just crosses that up to the toe. Means we still believe on the miracle. Lastly, the person, he wanted to keep that one, preserve it. Then he says, still do you believe the miracles? Then he throws it off. So that is it, miracle. It is associated with that magic powers. Plants do not have magic powers, they only have medicinal powers. From the Renaissance means when the changes are occurring, that period when the changes are occurring, very fast changes are occurring, that is called Renaissance. Renaissance. Onward, scientists and their scientific studies, discoveries and inventions came to the fore. Only then the discoveries, inventions, science, all these have been given a, what we can say, the first seat, driver's seat for our civilization. Earlier, they were in the back, and only magic, the miracle, belief, right, superstitions, they were taking the first seat earlier. So, their scientific study, discoveries and inventions came to the fore, rejecting alchemists, elixirs. What is this alchemist and elixir? Alchemist means it is a medicine. It can be used for anything, any ailment. Can there be like that? Your headache and stomach ache are both are same ache. By the name, maybe it is ache. But the cause for your headache is different. Cause for your stomach ache is different. It is due to blood pressure. It is due to indigestion. How can a single medicine serve both the things? No, cannot. So earlier people used to depend on the believe the alchemists. And next is elixir. Elixir means what? The magic, the medicine through which I can make gold. Many experiments have been done, and many experiments proved to be undone. Right? So these are all the beliefs, old beliefs and superstition only. Elixir and alchemists. No. Medicine has to be given where the pain is there and not to the body part. Then for the cause of the pain. Local plants were carefully collected and widely used to make infusions, decoctions and ointments. These plants make up the major part of the traditional cures that we have inherited. Amrutanjan, Vicks Vaporub. And do you feel when you have that on the nose, do you feel something? A mint-like thing will be having a very strong feeling. That is an extraction from the plant. Right? And that is an ointment. Balms, ointments. And decoction means you are having this black pepper. Black pepper, you take say a dozen and put in a glass of water. Boil it till the water becomes half. Right? Add some sugar to it. Then you decant it. All the other solid particles should be left back and only the liquid. You drink it. It is called decoction, and it is very good for your cough and cold. If you take 2 times a day, in 2 days, no cough, no cold. These are all the many things are there. Lavang se bhi bante hain, adrak se bhi banta hai, adrak ko pura chutney bana ke they take it, right? And only the juice of adrak they take it, and ganne ka ras mein adrak ka ras milate hain because it purifies. So these are all the extracts, decoctions and ointments of this. Infusion, when we talk about infusion, 2 to 3 things, combination of these 2 to 3 things, they put it in and they are taken in with honey. Honey is also one of the natural healer. Honey and adrak. And these two, if you at all put your throat, ailments, every ailment will go. Right? That way, many things are there and they use it. Repeat. In the late 1700s, Carl Wilhelm Scheele, a gifted Swedish chemist, obtained tartaric acid from grapes, citric acid from lemons, malic acid from apples. The technique that he and his contemporaries used led to the isolation of the first purified compounds from plants that could be used as drugs. First came the isolation of morphine from the opium poppy in 1803. Then caffeine from coffee beans in 1819. Quinine from cinchona bark and colchicins from meadows saffron, both in 1820 and atropine from deadly nightshade in 1835. That is, by year, what is the medicine has been extracted from what plant? Clearly, here is a statistics or a record of it, a table. That is, in late 1700, Carl Wilhelm Scheele, he has a gifted Swedish chemist. Here you see, who is a, not put, who is has been removed, only dash, a comma has been put, a gifted Swedish chemist, obtained tartaric acid. It is an acid, tartaric acid, malic acid, and your citric acid. Citric acid means lemon is there, no? It tastes sour because of that. And while citric acid tastes sour, you can see the apple, right? The apple, it tastes different, but it too contains an acid in it, right? And these are the things he could able to reiterate, he could able to take out from grapes, lemon and apples. Grapes, it has an acid, tartaric acid there. So, and next there are many techniques has come, and the contemporary people means the people of the same age, they have made use of many things and they could be able to understand what is the process called isolation. Means if it is a compound is there, from the compound its elements are removed. That is called separating that one, and that is an extract from that. Means he could able to prove that acids are available by nature in the fruit and in vegetables. He could able to prove that. Now quinine. Quinine is a very useful medicine for your malaria. That has been extracted, could able to be extracted from cinchona bark. Many things are there, even your eucalyptus trees. From that you get that Amrutanjana I said, Vixoaproba I said, the oil which is used there, that is taken from your eucalyptus trees. So these all the things they could able to make researches and records, and all these things they could able to make out. One tree that generated considerable interest among scientists was the willow. Among all the trees, the scientists could able to take interest only on willow. Why? It has a great range of medicinal use. In the early 1800s, chemists from Germany, Italy and France began the search for the compounds responsible for the acclaimed pain-relieving effects of its bark. This bark is there, and that bark can be utilized. The paste of that bark, if it is put, the pain is killed. What could be the reason behind it? The scientists of Italy and your Germany and France, these are engaged to find out the reason and what is its content. Which content is affecting this one, that they wanted to isolate that. In 1828, the German pharmacist Johann Buchner was the first to obtain salicin, the major compound, in a pure form. In 1838, the Italian chemist Raffaele Perea also obtained salicylic acid from the bark by various chemical processes. You see, earlier he could able to find out what is called as a salicin compound. And now after many more experiments, he could able to find out salicylic acid. Means again, that compound again split it into, and that is isolated. And now, but these early compounds caused blizzards in the mouth. If it is tasted blizzard, means we cannot find out what is the taste of it, right? Blizzards in mouth and stomach upsets when ingested. In 1853, a French chemist, Charles Frederick Gahard, synthesized a modified form of salicylic acid, acetylsalicylates, acid, but still it wasn't further developed for more than 40 years until a German chemist, Felix Hoffmann, working for Bayer, rediscovered Gerhardt's compound. Hoffmann gave it to his father, who suffered from arthritis, and reported the beneficial effects. Now, what is the journey of this acid acetyl salicylic acid? How the journey ended to find out that. Here we can see early compounds caused blisters in the mouth and stomach upsets when ingested. When it is put into use, these two side effects were found. With those things earlier which have been, that is salicylic acid, and also we can see obtain salicin. Salicylic acid and salicin, they were used as they were side effects of mouth blisters and here stomach upsets. So next, after many more years, a French chemist, Charles Frederick Gerhardt, synthesized it. Analyze to split and see. Synthesize to combine and study. So synthesized a modified form of a salicylic acid, acetylsalicylic acid, but still it wasn't further developed for more than 40 years. Thereafter, they could not conduct more experiments on that because we have done so much and we could not find out what is the use of that, and so that has been kept under cold storage. After that, after many years of that, a German chemist named Felix Hoffmann, working with the Bayer's, right? It is a company which is inventing medicines and making medicines, Bayer's, rediscovered Gerhardt's compound. Hoffmann gave it to his father. He experimented on his own father. There was a relief from what? From your joint pains, arthritic pains. And he said, yeah, there is a positive result on this. That way he could able to find out. Bayer decided to market the acetylsalicylic acid as a new drug for pain relief and patented the compound acetylsalicylic acid in 1899. Now Bayer's India, you must have heard the company. What they have done is they patented this because they could able to find out this acid can be used for what? Arthritis, that is the joint pains. Successful it was because it was given to his father and found successful results, and so they patented it and they started using this as a new drug for arthritis. At last, from the willow, the first modern drug was born, and with 12,000 tons of aspirin sold every year throughout the world, it has kept its number one position. Aspirin, even now we take it, right? Even now we take it, the aspirin. What is that one? It is nothing but this salicylic. What is that one? Acetylsalicylic acid. That is your aspirin. That we are using in every medicine, painkiller, it is there. From the 1930s onwards, advances of chemistry have made it much easier to reproduce the active ingredients in plants. But plants will continue to have a medicinal importance in their own right. Their active constituents may be slightly modified to improve their efficiency or to reduce their undesirable effects, but they are still vital for the treatment of disorders such as cancers and heart diseases, or as a means of combating malaria, and they remain the essence of herbal medicine, an area that has still not been fully understood and explored. There are, after having this much of what we can say exploration into medicines out of plants, right? Very few we know. Now people say aloe vera. Suddenly we got an interest on that, right? Many more medicinal, even your vegetables, what you are eating, having, they have certain medicinal, what we can say is characteristics with them. Many spices, they have their own medicinal characteristics. Even we say the red, what we can say, your mirchi, lal mirchi, chili, red chili. What do we do? We ignore it because it tastes very hot, but it has its own medicinal character with it. Right? The masala things, people say, doctor will say, reduce masalas. Reduce masalas means what? In excess you are taken. They are to be taken, no doubt, but to a limit. Limit your masala. Your mustard is that sarson ka tel, sarson ka saag. Right? We take it as a vegetable, but it is a medicinal one. Whatever you take, whatever the green leaves, whatever you eat, they're all having their own medicinal usage within them, medicinal character with them. Right? So, this is a lesson where we are reading how to keep our body healthy, and that too through what? Through vegetables, plants, leaves, roots, stems, fruit, even their seeds. Right? So now let us see what are all there for here exercise. In E2 we have certain subtitles have been given, and these subtitles have to be arranged in a neat manner, and you have to give it to that para. Which para we can give this title? That para you have to pick out and put the name here, put the para number against that name title. And now we have to find out words for the meaning given here. This is under E3. So filled with the certain quality, that is imbue, I-M-B-U-E. In para 1 it occurs. Scented or perfumed or sweet smelling, aromatic. Aromatic means what? Aroma. Aroma means sweet smell. Aromatic means the roots, the stem, the fruit, whatever it is, it has that, the flower. It has the aroma. Written work dealing with the subject systematically, that is treatise. People living at the same time as others, contemporary. And notably large or significant, major. These are the words for these words of meanings over here. And complete the following sentences on the basis of your reading of the text in D1. After the Renaissance, the major shifts that occurred in this approach towards Herbert Blank's were, after this whatever is there, you should not copy as it is. You read that part which is there, and you have to write the meaning here, and that should make a meaningful sentence. Likewise, second, isolation of compounds from plants to be used as drugs was the dash dash dash. Who has invented that invention of so and so, so and so? Read that and write it here, and the whole thing should become a meaningful sentence. Now, complete the following flow chart that traces the contributory processes leading to the development of the first modern drug from the willow tree. Psilocin, the first major compound obtained in 1828. Thereafter what happened, thereafter what happened, and lastly here D has been given. Felix Hampton contributed the rediscovering Gerhardt's compound. What did he do in which year? That you have to fill it up according to the incident. And now there is a project here. You have to go to your internet and find out the importance of at least 2 of the herbals here. About A to J, you have about 10 names have been given here. And what you have to do is you have to consult your internet and you have to write at least, say, at least you have to write about 50 words or 60 words about these every, at least 2 items. say alfalfa, aloe vera, arnica, ashwagandha, papaya, papaya, lavender, black radish, and pumpkin. There are two pumpkins, right? And in that two pumpkins, one our already the yoga guru, he has already talked about your white pumpkin. It is best for your heart diseases. You have to drink the juice of that, and from that day onwards, the rate of that has increased, and people are taking it, right? So that is pumpkin. You will get the complete history over there. Okay, means pumpkin means nothing but we can say the watermelon. All these things are coming under the same classification. So how best they are you can see, and even the seeds of that, they are also medicinal. So again, pineapple, obviously people, if they take that slices of that fruit, eat it, not the juice, slices, if they chew, then they become slender, they may lose weight, right? And peppermint, all cold and all these things. So you take any two topics of your interest, find out some information in internet, make a note of it and keep it ready. That is your, what we can say, your project work.